Hello, my name is Noah. This is Louise, Dom, and James. During this presentation, we will be discussing topic one, which is comparing four countries that appear to be culturally different. Multinational companies are defined as a geographically dispersed and goal desperate company.
The country I chose was the UK because it already has a developed economy. The costs of multinational companies doing business in the UK is that the UK has a corporation tax of 19%, which is high compared to Ireland's corporation tax, which is 12.5%. Also, the new national minimum wage has increased in each bracket by at least 3.7%. This means that companies operating in the UK will have to pay their employees a higher wage. With Brexit taking place, it is hard to predict what will happen to the UK economy in the future. Although companies are already preparing for the unknown, for example, Nissan have delayed investments in Sunderland. With Brexit being a push factor, this may cause more companies to move their operations over to Ireland due to them having access to the single market. Punctuality and time management are extremely important in the UK, as it is seen to be rude to arrive late. The most common and formal greeting in businesses is handshakes. If the handshake is weak and effortless, it may come across as the person is shy, whereas if the handshake is brief but firm, it is seen as professional. Another important practice is maintaining direct eye contact with the listeners.
The country that I chose was Singapore. Singapore is an island city-state off the coast of Malaysia. Despite its small size and lack of resources, it has become a global trade hub. Some costs of multinational businesses in Singapore are the trade barriers. Singapore has an open port allowing countries such as the UK to export goods and services with little cost. However, multinational businesses from the United States are faced with higher costs due to the additional fees. For example, there's high road tax on the US motorcycles due to their engine being a larger size. Another cost for businesses is the corporation tax. Singapore's corporation tax is 17% compared to USA, which is 21%, and the UK at 19%. However, Ireland is considerably lower at 12.5%, making it more attractive for investment. Singapore's economic future looks positive as they are in a period of high growth. In 2017, Singapore's GDP grew 3.6% compared to USA at 3.5%, the UK at 1.8%, and Ireland at 7.8%. This shows that Singapore's level of development could change from emerging to developed. Singapore is a business-friendly country, proved by multi-ethnic composition. Making first contact should be formal and include a third party. Punctuality is very important in Singapore, as tardiness is a sign of disrespect. The greeting can vary due to the ethnic diversity. All ethnicities should shake hands, except for Maori men and women.
The country that I have chosen to compare was the Republic of Ireland. In terms of cost of multinational businesses doing business there is a tax set at 12.5%. This may seem high, but in comparison with the USA at 21%, the UK at 19%, and Singapore at 17%, it's not that high at all. It is one of the lowest tax rates in the EU. Other advantages include an attractive holding company regime and tax incentives for certain types of investment. For example, Irish resident companies carrying out qualifying research and development activity can avail of a knowledge development box, where eligible profits are taxed at a rate of just 6.25%. More than 1,000 big American companies have operations in Ireland. Among them include Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Twitter. It is claimed that these companies are only attracted to Ireland due to the low corporation tax, but the argument has been raised that if they were motivated exclusively by corporation tax, then countries such as Hungary, which has a corporation tax of 9%, would be more appealing to businesses. The European Union is, however, trying to deter multinational businesses from residing solely in Ireland. Like future economic developments of the country are quite significant. Revised up to its growth projections by the European Commission, the Irish economy's growth is expected to come in at 5.7% and 2.1 and 4.1% in 2018 and 19 respectively. The Commission predicts in its spring economic forecast. This is the second fastest growth in the EU, just behind Malta at 5.8%. Business practices in Ireland are similar to most Western countries, especially the United Kingdom and the USA. Important things to remember are timekeeping practices in Ireland differ from foreign local associates. Where travelling to Ireland to do business, you should ensure you arrive on time, as being late is seen as inappropriate and impolite. In terms of gift giving, it is not generally expected for business purposes. If you decide to gift a present, the best occasion is at a successful conclusion or negotiation. However, gifts are not expected in the Irish business culture. The standard of dress in Ireland is smart and conservative. Formal suits work best in most situations. However, in general, dress trends tend to be less formal than Western Europe. Traditional style is represented by tweeds.
Last but not least, the country I've chosen is the United States of America. There are 4 different types of taxes that are associated with businesses when it comes to having business in the USA. The 4 types are Social Security and Medical taxes, Federal Unemployment Tax, Self-Employment Tax, and Corporation Tax. US economy at the moment is booming. US confidence is at 18-year high. Americans in every demographic are celebrating success, from pay rises to lower tax and higher rates of business ownership. Female unemployment rate is at a 65-year low of 3.6%. There's an increase of 2.8% in women-based businesses, and 1/3 of business owners report rising wages in the last year, clearly meaning that employees are performing well and businesses can afford to reward their employees by giving higher wages. In comparison to countries like Singapore, Singapore has been ranked 8th for ability to attract women business owners, whereas New York City, a state in the United States, has been ranked as number 1, which shows that their economy is doing well and they have a lot of businesses going on there. Going towards business culture in the USA, Americans' business culture is efficiency orientated and money driven. The most common phrase there is time is money. So that shows how important it is businesses in day-to-day lives in America. They use emails mainly for communication, and that's how they engage with each other. And when it comes to other forms, they use direct communication such as Skype or phone calls, but that usually doesn't come until later on. So always usually start off with emails. Punctuality and time management is fundamental in the US in terms of timing and meetings, and when meetings begin and when meetings end. Firm handshakes with direct eye contact and a smile is usually how they communicate with each other when they see them in person.
In conclusion, the country with the highest business costs in terms of corporation tax is the USA at a rate of 21%, then the UK at a rate of 19%, Singapore at a rate of 17%, and then followed by Ireland at just 12.5%.
The country that has got the most stable economy in the future is Ireland, due to their low tax rate and their attractive investments. Then it's Singapore, followed by USA, and the UK is the last, due to the unforeseen consequences of Brexit.
In terms of business practices, for all 4 countries, they have similar business practices in terms of punctuality, gift giving, and dress code. Dress code is usually smart attire, including formal suits. In general, dress code will be the same for most Western countries, such as the USA and the UK, but there may be slight variations when it comes to Singapore due to cultural differences.
This is our Global Perspectives in Business presentation. Thank you for listening.